be able to, I'll get this up on YouTube so that you can watch it. But right now we had this first station that was all about dirt, and we have a date for it. And we have this station that also was about the carrots. And this station helped us think about further experiments, right, in terms of designing new experiments. We looked at this and we had more questions. So I'm actually we're going to rename this one station 2, but for the moment I'm just going to kind of move 3 over so it's in the 2 position, if that makes sense. And then 2, you may have had kind of your ideas in 2. Is that what that is, Emily?
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually rename this one, and I'm going to call it my idea, or how about my experiment idea. And I'm going to drag it over so it's kind of a little out of the way over here. Does that make sense? And then, where I have this 8A right now, I'm actually just going to rename it so that because I need to have a 2A. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to drag it back over because we're going to have...
Yeah, the board.
Yeah.
Oh, is it below?
Should I pull it down?
Now, hold on, I can just go like this, kind of, sort of, right? Does that help? Okay, so basically what I did was I took... Yeah. Oh, no, that's not where I want it. I'm going to put it...
The 2B.
There we go. Okay, so notice that I moved 3 over into the 2 position, and then I've got 2 over here. So I'm actually going to rename this one here, and I'm going to call it 2, and then I'm actually just going to delete this stuff in the middle, because it might let me do that because it won't have the same name. It doesn't like it if you have 2 sheets have the same name. It gets a little bit annoyed. Okay, so now I have a 2A and 2B, and now I can rename these to be 3A and 3B. So it's going to help me, you guys, in terms of my ability to communicate, Benjamin, if I don't have to talk over people, because I'm recording right now. So, so here's the thing. So now we have the dirt station, we have the carrot station, and now this is going to be the current station that we've got going outside right now. So somebody talk to me about what's going on outside. What was the kind of arrangement that you all decided to do outside? This harkens back to Helen's idea, I think, initially. Serena?
I think, I'm not sure which one you're talking about. I think it's the carrot one where we're seeing like the growth cycles and how far it gets.
Yeah, we're looking at kind of the growth rate of carrots. So for a question, what could we put? What would be a good question? How about let's start with title. What should we put as a title? Somebody, throw a hand up, Peter,
Carrots.
title? Growth rate of carrots. Great title, very straightforward. How about a date? Well, we're actually running it over April and May, so I would put April/May because it's kind of ongoing, right? So I'd put April/May. For the question is kind of what is the rate of growth of the carrot, pretty much. And what are our materials and methods are going to be? Well, we planted a bunch of seeds, right? They're all up there growing right now, and now we have to decide when are we going to collect some data from those carrots, and how are we going to go about doing it? So I need suggestions here. We need suggestions. Somebody come up with an idea. How should we get data so that we can actually get a graph out of this to figure out what's going on with their growth, if that's the question? Caleb? Yeah, they're up on the balcony right now growing. They're about this little right now. Itty bitty. Okay, so we could, given time frame, say after 10 days, and then at 20 days, and at 30 days, something like that. We're probably pushing the 10-day mark soon, so we could pull some and do that, right? What do you think would be a good, well, I guess we'd want to see how many we have out there. So it might be, you know, a number of carrot seeds were planted in the raised bed up on the balcony, set up with the drip water system, right? We're going to pull a third of them at 10 days, and we'll weigh them, and we'll get an average weight. We'll pull another third after another 10 days, and then the last third at the end of 30 days, and we'll make a chart and graph it. Does that sound like a reasonable method? Does anyone want to add to that method, or Joey?
Well, this isn't necessarily bad, but I'm just confused on what I just did. Cause, like here, like, cause my station 3 it has stuff in it.
Yeah, we talked about that. Go back and watch the video again. It'll explain what you need to do. So I think that sounds pretty good in terms of a method. So that's what we'll go with. So tonight, you're going to need to make a method for that. Serena, did you have another idea?
Well, yeah. So something I also noticed when we were picking the carrots was that they were like, I know like what we're trying to figure out is like how long, how big they'll grow, but I'm also wondering if there's a difference between the length and the width.
So we could do length and width, and we could also do mass. There's going to probably be a lot of them, so we might have to have a method around that piece of it a little bit. Have to think about that, because by getting mass, at least you get the total mass. Do we want to separate the leaf mass from the root mass?
Yeah.
And have both leaf mass and root mass at the end of 10 days, end of 20 days, and end of 30 days? Does that sound like a plan? Okay, so now we're set for 3A, for finishing up 3A tonight. Now, what I'm going to have 4B, I'm going to jump over to 4 here. 4A and 4B. Station 4 is going to be the inside classroom experiment. So let's have somebody remind us, what are we doing inside? What's the experiment that we're doing? It's over there right now. I set it up for y'all. Serena?
I think this is Anna Maya's experiment.
Yeah, Anna Maya designed it. It's too bad
So-
she's absent right now.
Okay, so I think what we're doing is we're planting the same. We're using the same plant, and in different case scenarios, we're feeding them different things, like one's water and.
We're doing different acidities. I think we decided to pick one thing that we would do different concentrations of to kind of have a little bit of control under it. So what we actually have is in one of the bottles, see how there's 3 bottles there? One is labeled left, one is labeled middle, one is labeled right. They're just to the right of the black board. And the left one, I've been watering the left row of seeds with. It's under the light, right? Because I had to get them started. And that's just plain tap water. Then in the middle bottle, I put 50 mils of vinegar, but I topped off the rest of it with water. And then the right one has 100 mils of vinegar, and I topped it off with water. So the right one is the most acidic. It's the most vinegary. You can actually smell the vinegar over there. And because the other class wanted to also look at the effect of light, we have an interesting experiment going on. Because if you look on the left side, see how there's 3 rows of plants? The first row is just tap water. The middle row is a little bit of vinegar, and the right side is more vinegar. And then there's actually the same setup on the other side of that blackboard in less light. So they're going to get to analyze their light thing, and you guys will get to analyze your thing of having slightly different liquids, like watering them with different stuff and checking it out. So in terms of a title for this, what would be a good title for this station? Benjamin?
How acidity of water affects plant growth.
Nice. Very nice. So acidity. So the effects of water acidity on plant growth. Sounds super great. And it's not even just plants. They are sugar snap peas because I wanted them to grow fast. William set up a time-lapse camera on them, so we're going to see them growing. We'll be able to do a little video footage of it. Be kind of cool. It's right next to it. It's actually videotaping them grow. Brennan?
I have another one, maybe like a plant's favorite drink or something.
That's kind of catchy, but it doesn't get to the key pieces. We want to make sure we have the key pieces in there, which are acidity, sugar snaps, and growth. I would somehow get those things in it. Those same things should be in the question, right? How does acidity affect plant growth? I think was kind of Benjamin got it out there nicely. And then, so for the materials and methods, right, we have 3 rows of sugar snap seeds planted. There's, in the first row, it's just being watered with plain water. The second row has 50 mils of vinegar included in the bottle of water, and the last row on the far right has 100 mils of vinegar included in the water, and those are getting watered the days that we're here. I'm going over and watering them with that solution. So how should we take data for this one? Next challenge. So you guys had that kind of the different liquids thing. We got concentrations. We're looking at acidity. What do you think, Peter?
Maybe
Height? Measure the height of the plant. Once they start growing, we could do it daily. I think they will be out tomorrow. They're very close to breaking the surface. And the cameras are already rolling, which is kind of cool. So we could say that, plant height will be measured periodically over the duration of the experiment. Emma?
Or you could do how fast each one is growing.
Or we could measure the change in height over time too. Definitely. To do either of those, we have to measure them though, periodically, right? So I'm going to ask for you to come up with the materials and methods for both of those stations tonight, and that's going to be your homework. And you have this video that we've just made. So I'm going to stop the video.